Hi, welcome to Morlight TV. I'm your host, Morlight. Today we'll be talking about political parties or political dynasties. Political parties, we all know, are a group of people who share similar ideas or the same ideology and are trying to get into power so that they can take decisions that will impact positively on the lives of the citizens and influence policies that will be of social benefit to the people. Political dynasty, on the other hand, is a group of people either from the same political family lineage or from a political class or from the same group of people or the same caucus that are trying to be in power perpetually, a succession of the same set of people, in power or in government. These are referred to as political dynasties. Now, when you see the rotation or the succession of the same political class or the same political group of people rotating themselves in power, it's like recycling of the whole set of people, the whole hands or the caucuses, the cabal. That is what is being referred to as political dynasty. So let's take an example of political parties in Nigeria, the APC and the PDP. What do you think about these political parties? Because if you dissect them and you look at them holistically, you will realize that these are no longer political parties but political dynasty. If you look at the APC party itself, you will realize that it's just a group of some people who are loyal to a godfather, and it's what the godfather says that stands. If the godfather does not approve of him or her, they cannot become a candidate to contest for an election. As a matter of fact, the candidate to represent the people at all the primaries, whether at state level, at local level, or even at the federal level, are usually predetermined by these godfathers. Now, the presidential elections are approaching in Nigeria, and we can see what is happening. You can see that even at the primaries for this presidential election, these political entrepreneurs, that is what I call them, because they are out into politics to make money, to enrich themselves. They see it as a business center, as a vehicle through which they can amass wealth to themselves. Now you realize that these political entrepreneurs already have a predetermined candidate that they want to put forward as a presidential candidate. So we can say that it's also their caucus determining who should represent the people. And in a true democracy, the people should be the one to vote for who will represent them at all levels. But in this case, is one man calling the shot. Is one man sitting somewhere in Babylon and saying, oh, this is the person I want to be in power. That is no longer a democracy. And now even he himself is coming out to contest for the presidential election. So are we saying he does not have a right as a citizen of Nigeria to contest? No, but we are simply saying that we know the motive, because this is a man that has been a senator in the past. He has been a governor of a state for 8 years. He put his wife again in the Senate, and now he himself is trying to contest for the president. So are we saying that in the APC party we do not have more competent people who are brighter, more intelligent than the tinubu that is being put forth as the presidential candidate of APC? Are we saying he's the best of us? Are we saying he's the brightest of us? Are we saying he's the most honorable man among us? Are we saying that we do not have better candidates who are fit to do the job other than Tinubu? Another thing I see about these political parties who have made themselves into political dynasty is that they see it as their right to gain power. They see it as their right to rule the people, and this can be perceived in their speeches. When they are being interviewed, for example, when Tinubu is being interviewed, you need to see the way he speaks. For example, he will be saying things like trying to tell us that it is his birthright to rule the people. It is his entitlement to be in power and to reign rule over the people. Now, should this be the kind of leader or a president that we want in power, someone with a sense of entitlement that does not respect the opinion of the people and feel, oh, you guys can't really take decision about who to lead you or who to be your president. I will impose myself on you. It has become a dominant thing. Come 2023, whether you Nigerians like it or not, I will become the president. Now, let's take the PDP too as an example. You will see that in the PDP political party, they also see that party, as a business center, as a means of ascending into power, by a particular political class. Now, there are actually some caucuses in the PDP that believes that leadership is their own entitlement. These people are usually the northern element in the PDP. They believe that it is their right to rule in Nigeria. So when you see them talking, they will be saying the power should go to the north, and you will be wondering, should this be about ethnicity? Should it be about tribe or religion? Shouldn't it be about who is fit? Elsewise, who is competent, who is capable of getting the job done? But what we see is that these people uses this political party as their own ladder to ascend into political offices. Now, if their crave for power is genuine, is to go in there and serve the people, I wouldn't be so bothered, and Nigerians wouldn't be so bothered. But you could see it in their desperation for power, that the motive is not genuine. The motive appears to be that of us want it at all costs, because they all know that they are going to get themselves enriched through these offices. And that takes us to asset declaration by those contesting for leadership roles in Nigeria. Now, we all know that it is in Nigerian political landscape that someone will be contesting for an election whose net worth is 10 million naira. And by the time this person wins the election and be in the office for 4 to 8 years, his net worth would have increased to 100 billion. And you keep wondering, does that mean that he was being paid that as his salary and emolument and his entitlement in that office? No, we all know that their salaries are not in billions, even though it has been said that Nigerian politicians are the highest paid, both the senators and those, in the executive arm of government. Shouldn't this cause us to question their credibility, their character, their integrity? Because how were you able to get the hundreds of billions through a public office? We all know that public offices are being funded by taxpayers' money, and these monies are meant for the social welfare of the people. These monies are not meant to be diverted into private pockets or into personal houses. No, many people have been questioning the source of wealth of some of our presidential candidates. Take, for example, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. How did he become wealthy? I remember when he was a senator and even a governor of Lagos State, he wasn't this wealthy. We didn't see brilliant vans taking money into his house or driving money out of his house. But after those years of being in public office, this man became, just wealthy overnight with brilliant vans driving in and out of his house, and you are wondering, what industry does he have? He is not an industrial mongrel like Dangote or Tedola or Baotudeco. No, he's not any of these. We cannot point to an industry that he has. We cannot point to any conglomerate that is controlling. The same thing with Atiku. Before Atiku got into office, his net worth wasn't so much, and all of a sudden, after he became the vice president of Nigeria, we realized that his net worth went into billions, and you're wondering, where did this money come from? Where did this money come from? Now, this also tell us that there is so much leakages in the Nigerian government system, and we need to look into this. This, our democracy, is said to be a pseudo democracy, is not a full democracy. They are not practicing the full democracy, because in a full democracy, it's government of the people, by the people, for the people. It is the people deciding who should govern them. It is the people electing and leading their leaders, and the people are part of the process. It's not just one man calling the shots and imposing candidates on the people and saying, this is who you guys must have as your presidential candidate, whether you like it or not. That is what is happening in most of these political parties. Another question we need to ask is, what are the ideologies of these political parties, the APC and the PDP? What are their ideologies? We do not know. All we know is that during their political campaigns, they lift up brooms. What significance is that broom in the lives of the Nigerian people? How does this broom translate into social welfare for the people? The same thing with PDP. They keep carrying umbrella and saying umbrella. Of what significance is this umbrella? We do not know. Many people have said that APC and PDP are all the same parties. Someone once described it that they are both the same container. The containers contain the same content, because these are people moving and cross-carpeting from one party to the other, and from APC to PDP, from PDP to APC. They are all birds of the same feather. And that makes us to question our political parties in Nigeria. These are supposed to be democratic institutions that will help to strengthen our democracy, but the way these political parties is even going about running the parties shows that we are not ready for democracy. What are your ideologies? What are your agenda? What does your party stand for? It shouldn't be a broom that will be the first thing that will come to our mind when we think of APC. It should not be an umbrella that will be the first thing that will come to our mind when we think about PDP. What are your ideologies? There is a third party coming out, from Nigeria, which is the Labour Party. Even for the Labour Party, what are your ideologies? What do you stand for? What is your agenda? I know recently these parties have rolled out their agenda, but we all know from experience that what they have in their manifestos is usually different from what they come into office to implement. Buhari's government is a very good example of a wide variance in what is on the manifesto and what was being implemented. It's a two completely different ball game. The same way some of these parties now canvassing for people's vote, clamoring for power at all costs, the same way, even though they have rolled out their manifestos, are going to repeat the same, because these manifestos are written and designed for them. It's people, they contract these things out to people to write for them, and that is why we are insisting that the candidate, the presidential candidate, should be given opportunities to speak. We want to know what they are made up of. We want to know their stuff, because from their speeches, we will know their behaviors. They will exhibit their behaviors. The content of their character will be seen from their speeches, from the things they say. We will know the intent of their heart and their plans, and even how they regard Nigerians, how they see us Nigerians. We will see it from their speeches. Let them come out and tell us from the top of their head what is in their manifesto, and they should explain it to us how they intend to translate this into practical policies that will change the lives of Nigerians. If our democracy must evolve, we must move beyond these political dynasties to having a real political party institution that will enforce the tenets of democracy. And these include carrying the people along, letting the people have a voice to exercise their right by choosing who they want. I mean, we need to start calling these things out. Guess what? I'm just spreading more light.